Speaking of movies about villainous organizations, though,
As far back as
Goodfellas.
I yeah, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. Ooh.
So this is the movie that this is a movie that has firmly permeated not only pop culture but meme culture.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean I'm funny? Am I a
Funny
clown?
how?
How am I funny? Am I a clown? I amuse you.
Yeah. So watching this after we watched Wolf of Wall Street felt kind of strange
Yeah.
because let me tell you about this Martin Scorsese movie. It's a real life story of a guy who starts off at the bottom of an organization, climbs his way up, gets drunk on power and on lots and lots of drugs, um, cheats on his wife. There's a tearful moment where the wife is holding a child while drugs are being done, and she says she's leaving him.
Yeah.
Uh, and then it all falls apart, and then he goes through the justice system.
Yeah.
I could that could easily describe both Goodfellas and Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. The big difference is Goodfellas has violence and Wolf of Wall Street has sex. That's probably about the only difference between the two.
Yeah, what's your poison? Do you want more mob violence or do you want more debauchery?
Yeah. You want to watch? Yeah, you want to watch a mafia movie or a movie about a guy who was a despicable Wall Street trader, stock
Yep.
trader.
So to kind of run through some of the cool parts of the cast, there really is no one who isn't cool in the cast. Now that I think about it,
There really isn't. Yeah. Everybody plays their parts very well and convincingly.
uh, a few weeks back we talked about how like we were doing different casting because we thought that De Niro was so miscast in his movie.
Oh yeah.
Like this is perfect casting for him.
Yes.
uh, as a violent mob boss.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta is the main character. Henry Hill, no, not Hank Hill. That's distinct.
I tell you what.
I tell you what. uh, Ray's our main character. He's our POV character. He's doing the voiceover. That's the other reason this is so much like Wolf of Wall Street. It has like a constant narration.
Yeah, yeah. There's even a fourth wall break at some point in this movie.
Then you got Joe Pesci, who won was a supporting actor for this
supporting
one.
Actor, yeah.
Well deserved as just we talked in the previous one for Unforgiven about how what's his name, the sheriff
Gene
Hackman is good at going from jovial to violent at the drop of the hat. Joe Pesci might have him beat.
Yeah. Funny story about when he won the Oscar. He didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah,
and so when he went up to accept the award, he just said, "Well, thank you very much," and then he just walked off because he didn't have a speech prepared. He didn't know what to say.
Goes to show that nobody quite knows their own worth.
Yeah, yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, we got Henry Hill, Ray Liotta, who's the POV, character. And we see his progression from, where he starts off as a kid working at a cab stand run by this crime family, and then eventually going up to like selling cigarettes, and that's when he meets Robert De Niro's character, Jimmy Conway, and then of course he also meets Pesci's character, Tommy DeVito, when they're both up and coming guys in the organization, and then eventually Henry meets his future wife, Karen, who's played by Lorraine Bracco, who she's been in a lot of stuff. I remember her from Rizzoli and Isles. She played Rizzoli's mom. Rizzoli was played by Angie Harmon, and then she was the psychiatrist in The Sopranos. In fact,
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, actually, quite a few actors from this movie were in The Sopranos. Oddly enough,
I guess that makes sense, because if you can be a convincing Italian American mobster in that, then why not carry it over to another series? And if I'm casting for that, that's gonna, they're gonna, they can do it.
Yeah, yeah. And then they kind of basically, it's just a vignette of a lot of things that happen during Henry's time with the I looked up, it was the Lucchese crime family. And they're pulling off all these different pulling off different heists at the airport. Like the first big one he does is with Air France, where they steal a bunch of money that was in France. Like when you go to France and you exchange your currency, they send the currency back over here, and that's basically what they stole. Then there's, of course, there's the great scene with Billy Batts. Yeah, Billy Batts. Yeah, so so Billy Batts is he's a made man in the Gambino crime family, and they're having he's having his welcome back party because he just got out of prison. And he's
because of course they emphasize, if you go to prison, you do your time, you don't say nothing.
Right, exactly. And there's a whole bit in there too where when Henry and Jimmy go to prison, and prison's not the same for wise guys as it is for all the other prisoners. It's actually it's almost like going on a vacation for a few years.
It kind of looked like a little vacation home. Like, you don't get to choose your company, of course, but they're all just making themselves a really nice Italian dinner all the time.
Yeah. But Billy, of course, has a history with Tommy, Pesci, because he's like, hey, why don't you Tommy, he was really good with shining shoes, he was really shiny, and he's like, I don't do that anymore, Billy.
Go get your shine box.
Go get your effing shine box, Tommy.
Yeah, just flips out, beats him down, shoots him multiple times. And this isn't a spoiler, because this is how the movie starts. Is Ray Liotta's character, Henry, in the middle of helping Pesci and De Niro dispose of the evidence.
Yeah, and he's still alive in the trunk because they hear him banging around.
Yeah. So what's interesting about it is what you kind of expected based on that first scene. So I said, oh, okay. Because I knew in advance that this was basically the story of the first wise guy. First wise guy. He wasn't a made man. He couldn't be a made man because he wasn't full-blooded Italian on both sides.
Right. Yeah.
But he was, he was up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he basically was, between him and De Niro's characters, they were basically as high up as you could get in the Italian mob without being Italian.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I knew that this is basically the story of the guy who broke the code of silence and ratted on the mob.
Yeah.
So I was saying to myself, oh, okay, I think I see how this is going to go. This is him, like, after this awful thing that he did, he's going to have like a moment of conscience, and that's going to be like the chink in the armor that makes him think about maybe giving up this life. And like the whole, I always wanted to be a gangster. Oh, that's supposed to be ironic because he eventually decides to stop being a gangster. Hell no.
No.
There's no room for conscience in the heart of Hank Hill. Henry Hill. I screwed up there.
That's all right.
He's a complete sociopath.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He only ratted because he got caught.
Yeah, and they were gonna whack him.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, but
So
yeah.
so it's very, again, it's like Wolf of Wall Street. It's totally amoral.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, and the reason he gets busted is because when he was in prison, he makes a lot of drug connections with people in Pittsburgh, and yeah, and then he gets caught up in that. This little side gig, which, of course, his boss tells him, don't get involved in that stuff.
Don't worry, I won't get involved with that stuff. Proceeds to not only get involved with that stuff, but to get high on his own supply.
Yeah. uh, but yeah, this movie is I mean, it's considered. I think it's considered like the best gangster movie ever made, if not, top 5 or top 3.
I still haven't seen The Godfather. We'll have to knock that off at some point. That
Yeah,
just based on reputation, that would be this movie's only real competition.
yeah, and when because I've seen the first Godfather. I haven't seen 2 or 3, but somebody I think probably put it best. The Godfather was what the mafia thought they were.
Okay.
This movie is what the mafia really was.
Okay, that tracks, because like that movie was much more about like honor and family and everything, where this
Yeah,
was just about like amoral people doing awful things.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and of course the other crux of it too is they pull off this big heist, and De Niro just gets really paranoid, because everybody just starts doing stupid stuff like buying really expensive things, and he's like, "What are you doing? I told you not to do that." And
then the guy shows up with a pink Coupe de Ville, and
yeah. And another guy his wife's got a brand new mink coat, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
yeah, I think that's the other thing about the Scorsese, that I don't think I'd ever seen a Scorsese movie before we started this podcast. He definitely has it's weirdly comedic.
Yeah.
Like the timing, it's even as awful things are happening objectively, it's always there's almost like a bit of comedy to it. Like
Yeah. It's a dark comedy, but yes, comedy nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would call this another firm recommend.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. You know what? We're going to put up the spoiler wall here. Firm recommend. You can watch it on Max.
Yes.
Definitely a classic. Definitely, like we had a good week here, folks. Like even if heck, even The Hangover is a classic of a sort.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just not my cup of tea. But
Yeah.
This one was. So to get back into this,
Yeah.
so we've spoiled the broad strokes of the story, but there's like a couple of little things I want to do.
Okay.
Or at least one thing. Like speaking of darkly comedic, like the scene where they whack Pesci's character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they tell him he's going to be made, and they take him hey, just step through here. It's a totally empty room, and there's a moment of realization. Oh no. And he just gets shot in the back of the head. Like even that has kind of comedic timing.
Yeah. That's one of those classic moments of the I'm dead and I know it. Like, oh.
Yeah, which to be fair, like if any character in anything we've watched this week deserved that kind of death, then
it was him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Well, yeah. What he does to that poor kid, Spider.
Yeah, like where he just it's like in one scene he goes, "Hey, you ever seen that one movie with Bogart, the Frisco Kid or whatever it was actually called?
Yeah.
Hey, dance, cowboy!"
Yeah.
Shoots him in the foot. Then the next week, he's walking on with a
boot, yeah.
boot on. And it's like, you know what? F you, kid. You got a lot of balls standing up to me. Blam, blam, blam.
What's wrong with you? What are you doing that for? It's like, well, you're gonna have to dig the hole. Like, okay, well, yeah, not like I've never dug a hole before.
Yeah, like it's so funny because like you could so easily cut this movie to be, or you could totally tell this story in a totally serious, unfunny way, but it would not be nearly as entertaining.
Yeah. And and for those of you millennial kids like DB and I, you probably watched Animaniacs.
Oh yeah,
And the Good Pigeons. Yeah,
good feathers.
Good feathers, good feathers.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a pigeon.
Yeah. A lot of you will probably watch this movie and go, oh, that's what that's from.
Yeah. Well, or if you watch The Simpsons like me, I swear every time you watch a really classic movie, another Simpsons episode unlocks.
Yeah.
Because there was an episode where Bart started working for the mobsters, and it really reminded me of this, even down to a plot where they hijack a truckload of cigarettes.
Yeah. And or when Bart shows up in a brand new suit.
Yeah,
Henry shows when he's a kid shows up and he's got a brand new suit. And you're like, hey, look at me, Ma.
yeah. Who's the actor who does Fat Tony on The Simpsons?
Joe Mantegna.
I was actually very surprised I never noticed Joe Mantegna in this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think he was in Godfather 3, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I was actually kind of disappointed I didn't get to see a younger Joe Mantegna anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other movies like this he might have been in. Of course, if you want to see a young Joe Mantegna, watch Three Amigos. He's got that one scene in there, cold dead hell when Harry Flugelman lets an actor tell him what to do.
I didn't know that was him. I haven't seen it very recently. So
yeah, we strayed too far from the formula and we paid the price.
Joe Mantegna was in an episode of Cool Cat. What?
Really? Wow.
That's in 2019. They were making Cool Cat. That's totally bad movie lore that I'm not going to get into. But anyway.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, we kind of went off on a little tangent there.
Yeah. But yeah, like this movie is full of so many great little moments that it's hard not to gush over.
Oh yeah. And I think it was nominated for Best Picture the year. And I want to say Dances with Wolves was one who won it, or it might have been something else. I can't remember.
I think Dances with Wolves was earlier than this one, wasn't it?
Let's see if I can find the IMDb. They used to have the awards part on there in a very obvious place, but now they don't anymore.
They either want to sell you a subscription or they want to make you go through more of the page and see more ads.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Goodfellas, 1990 Academy Awards. Let's see here. It actually won Best Picture according to this.
Did it? Oh, it might have. Oh, you know what? Scorsese, I think a lot of people were saying Scorsese should have won Best Director for it.
Let's see here. No, wait. Okay, so this is that. Okay, it was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Director.
Okay.
Pesci was the only winner who he won for Best Supporting Actor. Lorraine Bracco was for Best Actress.
Yeah.
It was nominated for Adapted Screenplay and for Film Editing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what actually won this one, but
well, let me see here.
Okay, Nashville, All the President's Men, Terms of Endearment, Pulp Fiction, The Hurt Locker, Drive My Car, Tar. Okay, you know what? Oh wait, no, never mind. That's a list. I hate how this is laid out.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress. Oh, that was the year Whoopi Goldberg won for Ghost.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought that Ghost was an '80s movie.
Yeah, no, it was early 90s. Okay, so Kevin Costner won Best Director for Dances with Wolves. So I think Dances with Wolves won that year.
Okay. Yeah, but I guess that's probably good competition, but
Yeah,
I've also never seen Dances with Wolves. But
it's all right.
yeah, like, now this is I can't help but feel it. Like this movie has probably stood the test of time better, if
Yeah.
only because I've seen Avatar, so I've basically seen Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, yeah, you have. Yeah, it's yeah, they're basically the same movies, just different settings and time periods.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, what I was reading before was it's a weird factoid that they had on Wikipedia for some reason. One of 8 films to have won Best Picture from 3 out of 4 major U.S. critics groups. It's like
Oh,
that's not a that's not stop it. That's I remember Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers once referred to LeBron James statistics where sportscasters were so eager to say that LeBron James was amazing that they would like, oh well, this is the most points ever scored by a player in the third the third quarter
yeah,
uh, on a Tuesday or whatever.
yeah,
That kind of
yeah,
useless statistic.
yeah,
I was starting to think that some of those movies seemed wrong.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, but yeah,
yeah,
watch this movie if you haven't
it,
already.
yeah, the actual review probably stopped like 10 minutes ago, but whatever.
Yeah,
We had
yeah,
fun.
yeah. But
For
yeah,
anybody
I
could
think
watch a
we
movie, but you can only hear us talk about nothing here.
indeed, yeah. Well.